So let's get some more now on our top story today. The Prime Minister says the Metropolitan Police have the government's absolute and total backing to crack down on any trouble amid debate over a pro-Palestinian protest planned for Armistice Day this Saturday. Some are urging the police to ban the gathering, but organisers maintain that the demo will not take place on or near Whitehall or indeed at the Cenotaph. Well, former head of Rural Protection, Dai Davies, joins me now. Good afternoon to you, Dai. This is something that's getting a lot of people very hot under the collar, very, very concerned. A lot of calls to ban these protests. Where do you stand on that?
Well, as always in Britain, we have a balance. But I totally agree with the Prime Minister that anybody demonstrating pro-Hamas, they should not be allowed anywhere near central London, as far as I'm concerned. And I think the police commissioner should use his powers under Section 12 and 14 and other powers to ensure that nobody disrupts the Remembrance Day services and those thousands that will turn up. Because rightly, if they do and there's a clash, people will get hurt. And that's not something that should be tolerated in the United Kingdom. Anybody saying anything in support of Hamas, as far as I'm concerned, they are a criminal organisation in the same way as ISIS. Who would support ISIS? They behave in exactly the same way. So it beggars belief there are so many in this country who support Hamas. I can understand the concerns over the thousands who have died on both sides. That's awful. But with great respect to those who support the issue of Palestine, you're also, if you do this kind of demonstration, arguably supporting Hamas as well. So no, it should be stopped.
Dai, that sounds great in principle, doesn't it? But the fact of the matter is we have thousands of people arranging to pile down to London from all over the UK, from places such as Batley. Yeah, Batley, where the grammar school teacher is still in hiding. Yet they're going to come to London and dish out moral advice, also from Leicester and Dewsbury. What do you think about the idea that there are simply too many people now planned to come, and in fact it's very likely there'll be more protesters than police? This is now too big to stop.
Well, I don't agree with the fact it's too big to stop. What I would say, capture the ground early and ensure geographically that you put your resources where they're needed, and also give directions to the more responsible those organising these matches to actually direct them as to where they can go and where they can peacefully, i.e. Hyde Park would be a good place. But I would protect those key areas by getting my officers there early. I would have reasonable resources and also ensure that those coming to and from wherever are actually searched to ensure and stop where possible if their motive is to support Hamas.
And Dai, you talk about the legislation being there. You're absolutely right. Section 12, Section 14 can specifically set out areas that are designated as no-go areas. Would you like to see Whitehall itself, the approach to the Cenotaph, specifically ring-fenced by a ring of steel of police officers, despite the fact that the protest organisers have said they won't go anywhere near that place at that time? But we've seen from events at the weekend and previous marches, we can't control all of the mob, can we? Specifically, where would you like to see protected and how?
Well, it's a good question. And again, geographically, it is difficult, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility to actually have a circle in and around that area. One, to ensure that those who are legitimately there to mourn and grieve and to remember our fallen heroes, to ensure, as far as possible, those key areas where they're going to congregate, and the key areas around the cenotaph and the approaches. So I say again, approach it, and I've always believed I was public order for most of my service. Capture the ground early, deploy your resources, and ensure you have sufficient support to put in snatch squads to take out those who are advocating the violence of Hamas. I understand the right of people to protest. That's okay, but there's a time and place, and Memorial Sunday, with great respect to anyone who thinks they can do it, is not the place, in my opinion.
And Dai, if the police soft soap this, if they don't do the kind of things you've just suggested, if we get to a situation where we see unpleasantness, and none of us want that, around the cenotaph at this time on Armistice Day, how damaging do you think that will be for the politicians, for the Metropolitan Police, and indeed for the fabric of the nation?
Well, again, it's a good question, and it's one that I've been pondering. I was giving a lecture earlier today to a group of people, and they asked me the same very question. It is difficult in a democracy, but I think in a democracy, good manners count. And to actually articulate the pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas on this day, certainly as far as I'm concerned, isn't very British. Yes, they're allowed to demonstrate, but at a time and place which is suitable and can be policed. There has to be good manners in society. Sadly, so many fail to observe that. Good manners maketh man or woman, as far as I'm concerned. But the police should come out strongly, and I hope they do, and deploy whatever resources is necessary. London's police are well used to large demonstrations. Normally, they do it through tact and good humour, but there is a small minority who will use this as an excuse for violence, in my opinion, because they think that cause makes their cause, gives it more publicity. And of course, the media love it on occasion, certainly some elements of the media.
OK, Dai Davies, former head of Rural Protection, thank you for joining us on GB News and giving us your expert insight. Brilliant stuff.